Guys, this is absolute madness today in SoCal. These winds are crazy. Woo! Yeah, we were supposed to drive down to San Diego today, but we're gonna hold off till tomorrow. I mean, the winds are absolute madness today. I mean, trash can, look, that trash can's about to go over for sure. I don't know if you could see it in the trees and the palms, but it is nuts. My garage was literally bowing in a second ago. Like, it was shaking like this. I'm not driving down to San Diego. I called my agent. I said, listen, I'll be down there tomorrow. I'm not going down today, not gonna make the drive, guys. So check it out. I mean, it is absolute madness. But here it is, 2025. We're going daily on the vlogs, guys. I am keeping my promise to you. So nothing too exciting today, except for maybe one of these palm trees is gonna fall down on my house. I gotta get some laundry done. But yeah, this is crazy, guys. Oh my, look at that one. That one's dancing right there. Yeah, so it's supposed to be done by tomorrow, but this is absolutely causing a mess for my backyard. And my front yard's not too bad, except for all these little beads right here. All these are seeds. These are all palm tree seeds. So these things will literally end up popping up, these little palms, baby palms, and they are very annoying. So I'm gonna have to get that cleaned up, raked up and cleaned up. But yeah, we're not making any drive, guys. It's not happening today. Guys, this is gnarly. Look at this. Is literally moving the garage door. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. Guys, this is insane. I was listening to the radio earlier. I'm old like that. I listen to the radio, and they were saying this is like the worst since 2011. 75 up to 100-mile-per-hour winds where I'm at, which is like hurricane status, guys. Made me think, I thought hurricane season was over. There's the AMG. Hopefully it stays safe in here. I mean, I'm actually genuinely worried about this garage. I've never seen it bowing in like that. That is insane. I just ran into my pool guy though when we were out. It's a small town. You run into everybody out here, right? And he emailed me over a video. He said, hey, watch it when you get home. And I just checked it out, guys. I'm gonna check it out with you guys. I'll hop in there. We'll look at it. He knows I don't like EVs. He knows how I feel about them. He knows I'm a muscle car guy. He knows I'm an exotic car guy. So he sent me over this video. It's something about the Ford EVs are outselling their combustion engine cars or something this year. I mean, who wants a Ford anyways? That's all I'm asking. And nonetheless, I actually heard that they kind of did that on purpose. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, but my thoughts were kind of a little skinny on it right before we actually get started is I believe Ford did that on purpose. So they'll release a lot of EVs one year, and then that way they kind of save. It's like, I don't know, just think of it as like a bank where you or a certain emissions standard, a bank, I don't know, I call it a bank, right? It's kind of like their limit of what they can use as far as emissions goes. Dodge used all theirs up with the Demons and the 850 horsepower Cats and all these things, right? So they've used it up, so they're gonna have to kind of come out with some EVs and not some high performance cars. But 2025, I've been hearing that Ford is coming out with some really cool cars, like the Dark Horse or something like that. That's like 800 plus horsepower. So I think they're smart. I think they're doing it strategically. I'm not too worried about EVs outselling combustion engine cars for Ford, Ron. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm telling you, these guys, they're probably doing it on purpose. They're probably doing it for a specific reason, but nobody wants an EV. I mean, who wants an EV? Guys, comment below if you want an EV. If you're an EV driver, please tell me why you drive an EV. Let me know. I mean, currently in the city I live in, there's like no charging stations anyways. Yes, we're moving to San Diego and there is a bunch down there, but I'm just not into them. I need to hear the sound of the engine. I need to hear the sound of the car. But nonetheless, we'll go in there. We will check out that video that Ron sent us over. And let's hope that the garage doesn't collapse while we're in there. I mean, that was insane, guys. Glad I at least caught it, but this thing was moving. That would be absolutely terrible. Worst case scenario, this thing falls over here, breaks the glass, and ruins the AMG GTS. That would not be good, guys. But anyways, we're gonna hop in there. I'll show you this video that Ron sent us over, and let's see what's happening with the EVs over at Ford. All right, guys. So Ron sent me over this video, and in the email he said, "I sent this over to you to make your blood boil." And give you something to talk about on your channel. He's a subscriber. He actually has 2 YouTube channels himself. He's given me so much advice on YouTube. So thanks, Ron. And let's check this video out from the Electric Viking. cool YouTube channel name. This guy's from Australia apparently, and he's talking about the Ford Mustang Mach-E outsells the gas Mustang. As Ford's EV sales skyrocket. I guess what he's trying to do, I mean, he has an electric car channel essentially or something, the Electric Viking. So I'm assuming that he's into these EVs. Essentially, he's trying to make the point that the Americans are not buying muscle cars anymore, that they're done with the combustion engine cars. But obviously, that's not true. Let's check it out.
But the electric version, well, it's selling really well. In fact, it outsold the gas-powered version handily over the last few months.
So over the last few months, not a big deal. I know that Ford is coming out with some cool V8s next year in 2025. We talked to the guys at Dodge about this also. Dodge kind of used up all their emission standards in the last few years, so they got to kind of step back a little bit. I mean, the Demon produces over 1,000 horsepower from factory. But anyways, let's check the rest of this guys out.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. I did consider it when I purchased an Xpeng G6 instead of an all-time internal combustion.
I gotta be honest, those Mustang like SUV things, I don't know what they are. I don't want one. I'm just saying, but they look decent. They look kind of cool. I do notice like an elderly crowd goes towards those. So what I'm guessing is it's like an old Mustang guy or something. He's getting a little older, can't get in and out of the Mustang anymore. So he gravitates towards one of those, doesn't have to get to the pump, lives in town. I think that those are okay. I'm not against those at all, but I'm curious to see what this Viking guy is going to say about the American population not wanting combustion engines, because I don't think that's true, guys. I think that there's certain demographics that are into the EVs. I mean, you go to Irvine, you're going to see Teslas, more Teslas than combustion engine cars for sure. But down south and in some of these other states, and there's obviously car cultures everywhere in California and other states. Arizona huge on that. Texas big. So it's like we're not getting away from the combustion engine cars. I think that people maybe just scaled back for the last couple months maybe you're just saving up for a dark horse in 2025. I don't know. Let's see what this guy's talking about.
Saying to themselves, why pay insane amounts of money for gas when I can charge my EV for free?
Okay, so first of all, some of these EV stations are charging now because they're getting so packed and there's just not enough infrastructure for them. So they're not becoming as free as you might think, and it takes time. So he just said, hey, why would you want to go to the pump? Because it's time. It saves time. Time is money, and for some people, they just don't have the time. We don't have the time to sit at a charger. We don't maybe remember to plug it in at night or what have you. It becomes an inconvenience more than anything. So just to answer the question on that, the Electric Viking, I'm sure Ron is going to watch this video and get a whole kick out of it. We had like an hour conversation earlier about this. So thanks for sending me the video, Ron.
Now, what is really remarkable about this is the fact that the States, they were the three. Now,
this is true. The Camaro, the Mustang, and the Chargers and Challengers are like the big three. That's what people gravitate towards. So he's right.
The Chevy Camaro and the Dodge Challenger are dead. They haven't been sold anymore for about a year. So Ford have had no...
He's right on that too. They're coming out with EV models, so not going to be good for Dodge. I don't know what Dodge is going to do. I don't know what they're thinking, quite frankly. I mean, again, we've had this conversation with the guys over at Dodge. Check out my Dodge video, but not looking good. Nobody's banging down the doors looking for an EV Dodge Challenger. In fact, they put speakers on the outside of that car so the drivers don't go absolutely insane not hearing anything. So I think that's kind of wild. So I'm with you on that one, bud.
No competition, and still record low sales. That really tells you something. So
yeah, it tells you nobody wants a Ford Mustang.
The Mustang Mach-E actually outsold the classic Mustang V8 and the V6 sports cars. To put them together, V6 and V8 versions of this car, sorry, not V6, the Ford sold the Mustang, which is surprising. The new Mustang actually is a big improvement over the previous version. It is. Everyone said it is. 40,000. Pretty good number. It has heat width. I mean, incredible, guys. The Ford Ranger, 46,000 sales of the Ranger. Now, an increase in, it does not.
I don't know anybody that wants a Ford Ranger. I know people that are into the Raptors and things like that, but I don't know anyone that's into like the Ford Rangers. I don't know. Like that's why I think Ford can run into some issues, and same with Dodge. They make a lot of these cars that are just not cool. And I don't see the market for them, but apparently they do. So I'm not going to judge them on that. But let's continue watching this.
Ford CEO Jim Farley said that they would deliver around 500,000 in 2024. Yeah, that
Wow.
really didn't happen. Anyhow, which Fords actually outsold the Mustang Mach-E? Well, the internal combustion F-150, because that's the best-selling car in America. Obviously, that
Everyone likes the F-150. The Mach-E is cool, but you're not going to compare the Mach-E to an F-150. That's kind of weird.
won. So did the Ford Explorer. 194,000 Ford Explorers were sold. That was a 3.9.
I do see the Explorer selling a lot. People do like the Explorer. It's a nice compact SUV that's reliable. So the Explorer, the Ford Edge, these are popular.
Percent increase over 2023. The 1,000 of those were sold.
But I don't see somebody that's in the market for a Ford Edge or a Ford Explorer going towards the Ford Mach-E. I think it's a completely different demographic and completely different market. It's not the same person. What's funny is you see who gravitates towards what cars eventually. You'll end up seeing it happen real time. You'll see who ends up gravitating towards what models. And I noticed what people gravitate towards the Mach-E, and it's not a crossover for the Ford Explorer buyer, in my opinion. So let's fast forward a little bit here. So he's really talking about this Mach-E. He seems to like the Mach-E a lot, and he's kind of upping it up and saying that it's selling a lot better than the Ford Mustang combustion engine cars, essentially.
In the United States, want to sell
Record for the Mach-E, which is cool. I do see a lot of them on the road, and it's a good-looking SUV, I must say. So I like it better than the Teslas, if that says anything, but I wouldn't buy either.
And Ford actually sold 11,000 fully electric cars in November. It sold 85,000 electric cars so far this year.
That's not a lot. 85,000 electric cars this year. Not a lot.
Let's say, you bought some pretty impressive technology. And based on the new Ford SUV, the Explorer in Europe, its efficiency...
Cool. They're coming out with a Ford Explorer EV. That's kind of cool, and it doesn't look bad. That's awesome.
All hybrids were e-sales, also those before 6 in the United States.
Yeah, so interesting video, Ron. Interesting video. If I was Ford, I would double down on this Mach-E. I think it's a good idea. I would stay away from the Ranger. Although I guess the Ranger is kind of a smaller version of the F-150, so maybe if somebody's not in for the F-150, they'll get the Ranger. But then again, just have a base model F-150 go all the way up to the Raptor. I know they're coming out with a new V8 Raptor in 25, which is going to be super cool. It's not an EV, right? And listen, I don't know what to say about this. The gas Mustangs are not selling as good as the Ford EV. Different market, completely different car. So nobody that's in the market for a V8 Mustang is also looking at the Mach-E. So yeah, maybe 1 month the Mach-E is going to get a little skyrocket, but I don't think that means any sway in the American demographic of what we want. We want combustion engine cars. We want hybrids. We're cool with the hybrids. I'm cool with the hybrid, right? But I still need to hear an engine. I still need to hear that sound. I think it's inherent in humans for whatever reason. We like engines. We like that raw sound of power. Maybe it comes from us riding horses down in the deserts and stuff. I really don't know. But the thing is I like those, right? So thanks, Ron, again, for sending over this video from the Electric Viking. Shout out to the Electric Viking. Very cool video. I guess he's from Australia. He was talking about how they get a lot of these EVs from China. They're allowed to get them over here. Here we have a lot of tariffs for those things that would come over from China. So they wouldn't end up being as cheap for us. But for people over there, they can get these Chinese EVs that are just ready to go in a freight box for like $4,000, which is really cool. And some of them look decent. Obviously, you could spend 20, 30, 40, 50 grand on one too and get something really cool. So that's cool. We don't quite have that in the US right now, but if you're somewhere in Europe or something, you might be able to look into that as an option to get a cheap EV to get you around. But then again, out in the outside world, they have so many of these EV scooters and these bikes, these e-bikes and these e-scooters and things of that nature. So mobility and getting around is not an issue for the human race anymore, which is really cool. And I'm okay with the scooters and the bikes and things like that. I'm really okay with those. Those are super cool. But let's just keep it out of the cars for now, just for convenience factor, right? Or at least just let us have the option. I like my car. I love my combustion engine. I'm not going to an EV anytime soon. But again, cool video from the Electric Viking. Thanks again, Ron. And thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow. Much love.